Hi everyone, it's Ginny. I've just come on to show you some more of the projects I've done for the 100 Things Challenge. And I'm starting with a big one here I've got on the table, and then I'll go on and set up the tripod and show you the rest of the smaller things. But this one, which I'll just drag across the table, is, hang on, sorry, got to swap hands. This is another outdoor art piece that I've made. I'll just pan across slowly. It's my funny son. My mother found this awesome piece of old housing weatherboard. It's green on the other side, but I liked the raw side of it. So I cleaned it up and cut out these shapes from tin cans and stuck them on with tacks, and I've made a little moon there as well. So yeah, it's just what you'd call celestial themed outdoor art piece, which I haven't hung up outside yet because it's too cold. So this has been hanging around inside for a while. Yeah, so I'll step back a little bit, and I've just got an old piece of chain there. There were already holes where nails were, so I've just put a bit of wire and looped that around, and then I've taken this old bit of chain off a hanging pot, and I'm going to be hanging this out on the fence outside when it warms up a bit, or when it's not so freezing that I can't rug up and keep warm. So yeah, that's it. This is number 29 of my 100 things. So I hope you liked seeing that. It was really fun to make, and I do have plans to make others, but they take a while to do amongst a whole heap of other stuff I'm doing. So yeah, I'll be back in a minute after I've set the tripod up, and I'll show you a few more things. Okay, so I'm back with number 30 now, which is some more altered business cards. Sorry, just pull my sleeve down. Okay, so here's one. This one I've used some painted fabric as a stem and some flowers there I've just coloured and stuck on, and just a painted background, put a few squiggles around the outside. This one is a butterfly that I've put a lot of glitter over. It was just stamped onto this painted background. So put a few blings, stamped a little bit of a lacy border there, and stuck some lace on the sides. This one had a little bird in my box, so I painted that with a bit of shimmer paint. Put a magazine cut out of a star. These were left over from when I'd punched out some little angels, and just put a black border around the edge, and that's just where I've wiped off paint on the background. Oh, this one's a really cute little dog magazine image. So I cut out some hearts from some painted papers, put a little bit of embroidery cotton to pretend that's its collar, and a bit of bling, squiggles around the edge. Next one is some flowers that I made from circles, and these are just funny shapes I cut out. I can't remember, I did this so long ago. I can't remember if I had these shapes or I cut them out. This one kind of looks a little bit like a world globe. Yeah, just put little marks around the sides. Purple background with a few pinky, pale pink circles. And I've just used paper scraps for stems. I do a lot of flowers, I've noticed. This one is a bit of an abstract that I've made from little offcuts of book paper, some offcuts that come out when I punch out a butterfly. You get these little edge pieces, It's just a wipe off painted background. I put a few white dots and a squiggle around the edge. This one is another flower. I used a blue doily in the background and then cut a flower out of some Asian paper, paper with Asian writing on it, and then it's another book page with Asian writing on it and a bling for the centre, and then a little bee that I had stamped and cut out of watercolour paper, and put some blue dots and some bits around the side. Here's another flower. This one I made when I was jelly printing. I was using some stamps, and so when I used the stamp on the jelly plate, I'd stamp onto some of these cards. So what I've done with this is just gone around it with a marker or some paint by the looks of it, and put some God, my mind goes blank so much. What is that? That was homemade washi tape I made out of stamping onto some paper and colouring and things like that. So yeah, and I put dots down the side. Next one is another flower. This one I've used an actual daisy flower that I preserved with Mod Podge ages ago. So I've stuck that in as the centre. This one's cut out of drop paper. The stem is book paper. There's another one of those shapes. So I have a feeling I did have them from somewhere. So I've used that like the base of the plant and the leaves. That's just wipe off paint in the background, and I stenciled a little bit of green there, put a black border. And there's another flower. That's again that stamped flower from jelly printing, and then drop paper, a bling, some flowers I cut out of drop paper, not flowers, sorry, butterflies, and some strips of paper. So that's those. The number 30. You can see sometimes I have trouble coming up with ideas, so I end up resorting to flowers because they're easy to make. So number 30, what's next? Next is 31. I made these pockets out of book pages. Now I started doing these to make for Wendy Mason to send to her giveaway challenge that she had. And what I did was I just got some book pages, I glued them together so that they're thick. I sprayed them with homemade sprays, and then I stitched them together to make pockets, and then all the little scraps that I had left over from making these I sort of stuck together and stitched so they look a bit like a flower or just an abstract embellishment. So there's one. There's another one, this pocket there. I liked using the bright colours. I like all the threads hanging off too. This one I punched a little bit of a pattern into, and on the corners there as well. Hope I'm showing you properly. I forget to look up at the lens, at the viewfinder. So it's that one, this one. There I've punched a bit there, I've stitched, lots of threads. So these are, you can glue them onto a page and then have the pocket, or you can attach them with double-sided tape just around the edge, so that when you stick it down to your book you've got two pockets. There's another one very similar. So these are really fun to make. I've put a bit of a scalloped edge on there. And yeah, I sent some to Winnie to use in her journal that she's going to be making out of lots of things that other people sent her. So there. It's just a plain one that I thought I could embellish later if I've left a few of them plain actually, because I thought depending where I use them, I might want to embellish them to match whatever page I'm using them on. And this one's a double pocket. So that's those. That's 31. 32 is I made another sheet of tiny flowers. What I do, I love making these and I love having them to use because I like really little things, and sometimes I make them even smaller than this. And when I want to use them, say if I'm doing inchies, yeah, I've used them on inchies, tiles, altering business cards, lots of different things. They're really handy to have, and so I just draw a basic 5-petal flower in pencil, then I paint in the colours, then I go around with a black marker, and then after that I paint them over with Mod Podge excuse me, Mod Podge gloss, and then they're ready to cut out and use, and I've just used it on a scrap bit of paper. They're ready to cut out and use when I want them. So that was 32. 33, I've made a couple of funny postcards. I was just having fun with some magazine cutouts and some words I cut out of a book. So in the background I just had plain blue, and then I stenciled on some flowers. Actually, I think that was a homemade stamp I'd made out of that kids foam. So stamped that on, stamped on some Asian lettering, put these two guys, little superheroes, and then I put the words here that say, Mr. Rochester looked on with respect, as Lloyd said with pride, I am no bird, and yet I believe I was chosen for flying by God himself. It's a bit of quirkiness. And this funny guy, this was just a background from spraying through a stencil, and I was playing around with magazine images and put him together, him, her, it, out of odd bits and pieces. I love these stockinged legs, and I've cut a dress out of some of my drop paper, put two odd arms on, a man's head, cut a hat out of drop paper and then just doodled around there, and then stuck a blingy sun shape out of sparkly paper on top. So he's fun. I'm thinking I'm going to do lots more of these and have these either as journal inserts or as postcards to send away. I'm not really sure. I like it because it's got bits hanging off the edge, but they probably wouldn't be good for sending because they might get a bit wrecked. I don't know. Look out for more silly things like this though, because they're really fun. So what was that? That's 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Oh, hang on, I need to switch off and come back. Okay. 34 came about because my awesome daughter bought me this fabulous thing, which it opens up, but yeah, it's a paper cutter and a scoreboard all in one. And anyway, you get the gist. I never had one of those, and so I've never made things that you need a scoreboard with before. But after she gave me that, I ended up making a ton of these rosettes, using up some paper pad that I have, which is good to have, good to be using it rather than having it sitting on a shelf doing nothing. Just hoarding. So yeah, I made a ton of these. I sent some of these to Wendy as well, but these are just paper pad, pattern paper, circle stuck onto cardboard to thicken it up to make a backing, and then I've cut circles out of glitter cardboard that I have, which I'm rapidly running out of because I use it a fair bit and I only had a few sheets to start with, so, but it's good. I'm using using stuff. So yeah, look, I went berserk. I made a ton of different sized ones. When I first started, some of them are a bit wonky because when I first started I struggled to get them to sit right, but see, like that one. And also I found that they split. But yeah, I gradually got used to it. Some of them turned out better than others. So that's it. Oh gosh, I just found more. I can't believe how many I made. You probably need to see all of these, but there we go. That's it. A whole lot of stuff that I made. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.